Hey, hello guys. This is Hector. Okay, and a couple of weeks ago, we created a contact, and this is it right here. Charlie actually created, and this is what a contact looks like in one of the pages right here. So this was created specifically for the Boston region, including the Boston chapters. What we're going to do is instead of recreating a contact, we're just going to duplicate one, and we're going to show you another one. Here's the Seattle one, and I'll show you that Seattle is made for Seattle. So Seattle with the Seattle chapters. We're going to take a look at Denver. Denver doesn't have one. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to create one, or I should say, duplicate one for the Denver region. As an example, we're going to do Seattle. So before you do that, there's a couple of things that I created cheat sheets, how we're going to change it. And one of them is the regions information. So here we have Denver, Colorado, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Utah, and Wyoming. These are going to go here. We're going to replace these when we do the duplication. Okay? So if it was any other region, that would be like that. If you had to add another one, it's simple. You just follow the same procedures. Okay, so let's go back to edit contact. So as you might and might not remember, and again, this is something that comes with time, you would log into WordPress from the back end. You would probably go here, and then you would hit dashboard, which brings you here. I am here in contact. As you can see, contact form was created a while back, and then we duplicated all the other regions. So Seattle is right here. We're going to duplicate, instead of recreating and going through all those steps, we're just going to duplicate. Now when we duplicate, we're going to change a couple different things, and here it is, and I'll show you in a second. But these are the things that we're going to change. We're going to call it Denver here, Denver here, Denver here, and the chapters here in one form. And on the email form, which is this one right here, we're going to put Denver region, San Francisco region. And that's what we're going to do. All right, so let's go to our form here. We hit duplicate. Now, if you look, we have 11 items for the regions, and then for the contact form, and then the new submission one, which we're not going to worry about. But here we go. We're going to hit duplicate. Remember this here? This is a shortcode. We're going to create a shortcode recreating this contact. So when we duplicate it, it'll create a new shortcode for us, and you'll see here in a second once it opens up. Okay, here we go. So we're going to change that information in two places, here in the mail and here in the form. So if I do a control F and hit Seattle, we're going to see where we're going to change this information in a couple different places. There, similar to the page that I was talking about. So Seattle is a copy, so we're going to remove that, and we're going to do Denver. Okay, one, Seattle, Denver. It's as easy as that. Seattle, Denver. Seattle, Denver. So besides that, remember we have to change the chapters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my regions and chapters page so we go back here, bear with me, and we're going to find here regional locations, label first Alaska. We're going to change that to Colorado, and so on and so on. Okay, now okay, what do we do now? Simple. You just do quotes, The next one is Utah, quotes, another space, quotes, and Wyoming. If you had to add multiple, this is exactly what you do, as long as you finish it with the close bracket here. Okay, now we're going to go up, going to go to mail, and again, just remove San Francisco and do Denver. Now this is an email address that's already been created, and it's created in a different area, so just remember that. If you put whatever address here, it will go to that address. Denver region. Okay, so we change it here. Only places where we change it, oh, here. My bad, see? Oh no, that changes as soon as we go back and hit update. Okay, so we're gonna maximize. We're gonna go up and we're gonna go save. If you don't do this, those changes that you made are not gonna change. Okay, so it's doing its thing. Wait a second. 2, 3. Okay, so here we go. See how Denver changed, and we don't have any more. We don't have any more San Francisco. It just says Denver. Okay, and so now we go to, it's been saved. We go back to contact, and instead of seeing 11 forms, we're going to see 12, with one of them being Denver, not Seattle, a copy of Seattle. Okay, so we see 12 here, and if we look through the regions, we see Denver and Seattle, and there's no copy. Now what we do need is this code here. Okay, Control C for a copy. I'm gonna go back to Denver, right? I already had it open, and this page here we don't have one, so I'm gonna do edit. That'll open this page in an edit form, and then we're gonna put the short code underneath here. Okay, nice page, good info. Denver. Well, let's see preview changes before we do an update. Typically, and maybe if it's happened in a couple places where you do preview, it shows you before you do an update, so you don't update and make mistakes and having to change it. So we should see the information here, and there it is, the contact form. Denver Regional NACET members, and we have Denver and the chapters for that region. Once you fill this out and you submit it, they'll get an email with that email form, and that's how it is done. So let's go back to edit, and then we hit update, and we should have an updated contact form. Now for the other region that we were talking about, and it was Kansas City. Kansas City has a different contact form, and that could be by form or it could be by mistake. If that's the case, if it has to be duplicated with Kansas City information, when you update and save that information, then you put the short code here. Currently, right now, the short code that is being used is just for a general form, which is 952. If we go down to contacts and we look at the general form, regional contact form 952, I don't see that. So was it 952? Yeah. So I don't know if this was particularly done by another administrator because that's what they want, or it was a mistake, or it was done by just trial and error. So if Kansas City hears this, you just follow the same instructions and you update that information. If you have to add anything to that form or change that form, that's how you do it. Okay, with that being said and done, let's go back to Denver, and this is what we did. So by having initially creating a contact form, which this was here, then we modify it to represent Atlanta, Boston, Chicago. I did all of these by just duplicating and changing that information. And let's go to Boston. I did exactly for Boston, like I showed you earlier. And here it is, Boston, Boston region with the Boston chapters. All right, my friends, that's it for today. You'll have a great day.